that this is only the starting point for further collaboration in the future. We believe that creating this network between us in Europe, between the National Coordination Center, and also creating a community of all of the companies, small and medium enterprises, but also the big companies in Europe is one of the most important things. So before talking about the project, I want to also recommend you to subscribe to our community. We have our website. This community will be a European community because we forward this membership also to the Atlas system from the Commission. So once again, it's very, very important for us to create this community and to make it grow as soon as possible, as big as possible, because once again, cooperation between us in these days is from my personal point of view, the biggest value that we can create. So coming to the SECURE project, I hope that all of you in the room and also the people connected, you all already know what SECURE is about. SECURE is about distributing cascading funds to our small and medium enterprises for achieving compliance to the CRA requirements. You know, the CRA is a revolution that is coming. It's totally different from the NIS2 directive. The NIS2 directive is mostly for the companies. It's very, very important that we have involved the chief executive officers in the big game, I would say, of cybersecurity, being aware that cybersecurity is not a matter, not simply technical matter. It's a matter of business. It's a matter of survival for the companies. CRA is completely different. It's related to the quality of the products. It's focused on the products and on the quality of what we produce in Europe. It's a game changer. We believe that it's also a matter of competitiveness in the global market because, as you can imagine, safer and more secure projects are let me say, a very good selling point for our technologies all around the world. And once again, SECURE is only a starting point. You can see that we have 16.5 million euros for our companies. We have just started the first call. We will fund project up to 60,000 euros, and 50% of this amount will be covered by the SECURE project. But I don't want to talk a lot about this because in the following presentations, every detail will be deepened. Here on the bottom, you see the partner of this project. So we are very happy once again to have all of this big cooperation in Europe. But as you can see on the bottom right, we have almost every NCC all around Europe that will contribute in some way to this initiative. As I was telling a minute ago, this is the one that is open is only the first call that we have on plan. Surely we will have a second call and most probably also a third call, depending on how many applications we will have and how and if some budget will remain available after the first two calls. So I hope that you will enjoy the day. It's a big opportunity for our companies. Once again, I hope that this is only a starting point. And last but not least, I want to thank our host today, the European Parliament. We are very happy of being here in this very, very nice and important building at the Parliament premises. And once again, it's a signal of how the overall European ecosystem is working together to foster the competitiveness of our companies and of our ecosystem in Europe. It's very, very important because times are changing and we need, as European, to work together and to find the best way to foster the competitiveness of our industry and of our companies. So once again, I stop here. Unfortunately, I have to leave because I have another meeting, but I will come back during the morning before lunch. So I hope that you will have a very fruitful morning, and I leave the floor, I don't know, to the next speaker. Thank you very much for your attention, and once again, enjoy the day.
Thank you, Luca, I hope he is connected. We have a couple of keynote speech. The first one is from Csaba Bosz, that is policy officer, cybersecurity and digital privacy policy from European Commission DG Connect. Csaba, you can try to share your screen.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me give it a shot. And here we go. Please let me know if you can see the slides.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Excellent. Very good. Let me start by introducing myself. Csaba Bosz. I work at the European Commission, DG Connect, which is the Commission service responsible for the implementation of the Cyber Resilience Act. And in the coming 5-6 minutes, I would like to give you a short impression of what the aim is of the Cyber Resilience Act and where we currently stand with regards to the implementation of the Cyber Resilience Act. So what is it about? And usually when I have to explain that in a setting like this, I show this picture showing cheese. But of course, the Cyber Resilience Act is not about cheese. But it's a metaphor that I would like to use to explain how secure, or rather unsecure, products with digital elements placed on the EU markets currently are. And that is the cheese on the left-hand side of the screen with lots of holes, lots of vulnerabilities. When we proposed the Cyber Resilience Act as the European Commission a couple of years ago, we estimated that about 50% of manufacturers of products with digital elements place products on the markets knowing that there are vulnerabilities in that product. And to make things worse, it's not clear for customers, for buyers of that product, that this is the case. They don't know how to assess cybersecurity of products because manufacturers do not provide that information. So what we aim to do with the Cyber Resilience Act is to make products circulating on the EU market more cyber secure. We would like to reduce the presence of exploitable vulnerabilities. And that is the picture on the right-hand side, the cheese without the holes. The holes have been plugged. The product is more secure. So just where we stand at the moment, state of play for the Cyber Resilience Act. Like I said, we proposed the Cyber Resilience Act a couple of years ago, back in 2022, and it was adopted and entered into force 2 years ago in October 2024, and it will start to apply to its fullest extent in December 2027. So that is about 2 years from now. There will already be some parts of the Cyber Resilience Act in relation to the reporting of vulnerabilities that will start to apply next year in September 26, but the full amount of obligations on the manufacturers to make products more cyber secure will be in December 2027. It's a regulation, the Cyber Resilience Act. That means it has direct effect. There is no need to transpose this via national laws of the member states. And it's a full harmonization initiative. So the regulation will apply fully in all 27 EU member states, and member states cannot deviate from the scope that is covered. Of course, we remain involved as the European Commission for the implementation. I will speak about that a bit later as well. We are the guardians of the treaties and EU law, so we will monitor and facilitate implementation. But we will not do that alone. It's a multi-stakeholder process. Member states are also involved for supervision and enforcement of the Cyber Resilience Act. And for instance, we're working closely together with industry to develop technical standards. Just in a nutshell, what is covered by the Cyber Resilience Act? The Cyber Resilience Act will regulate market access of products. It will make market access of products with digital elements conditional upon compliance with certain cybersecurity requirements. And manufacturers will thus have to ensure that the products that they place on the EU market, that they have cybersecurity properties, that they meet cybersecurity requirements that are adequate to the risk profile of those products. Not only manufacturers will have obligations, also distributors and importers. They will have to ensure that when they make products available on the EU market, or distribution, import, that they are compliant with the cybersecurity requirements of the CRA. What are those cybersecurity requirements? Essential requirements, as we often refer to them. They are the legal requirements defined at a very high level, technology neutral, in the regulation. And for instance, they determine that products should be made available without known exploitable vulnerabilities, that they should have a secure by default configuration, and also that vulnerabilities can be addressed through security updates for those products. These legal cybersecurity requirements, they are then also translated in standards. We are investing a lot of effort in this, technical standards, to translate the legal requirements into technical standards that are actionable and risk-based, that can be used by manufacturers. And they will have an important role. We often also refer to them as harmonized standards, where they can give a presumption of conformity for certain products when they are used by manufacturers for the development of those products. When it comes to the conformity of products, it's also important to say that the Cyber Resilience Act will provide for a differentiated approach between different types of products. So more critical products, important and critical products, as defined in the Cyber Resilience Act, will need to meet more stringent requirements for conformity assessment, sometimes involving also independent third parties. The Cyber Resilience Act will also provide for reporting obligations. I already briefly referred to that. So manufacturers will need to be able to report actively exploited vulnerabilities or severe incidents in relation to their products. And just to say also that market surveillance and enforcement will be an important pillar of the Cyber Resilience Act. It will be enforceable, and this will be the responsibility of member states that will be in charge by means of their own market surveillance authorities. So where do we stand at the moment? Now that the CRA, the Cyber Resilience Act, has entered into force, but will start to fully apply only in 2 years' time. So we've been working a lot as the Commission, but also with other stakeholders to facilitate the implementation of the Cyber Resilience Act. First of all, we have adopted a number of lower level regulations to facilitate the implementation, to make it more easy for manufacturers to determine whether they are in scope, for instance, by defining product categories of important and critical products that will allow manufacturers to determine whether the more stringent conformity assessment requirements will also apply in relation to their products. We're also, and I mentioned this already, we are investing a lot of time and effort in the development of technical standards, harmonized standards. It was only last year that we submitted a standardization request to European standardization organizations, ETSI and CEN-CENELEC, and they started working on the development of 42 horizontal and vertical standards, sometimes very product specific, and we give priority to standards for important and critical products. And first standards, first drafts have already been delivered and are currently under assessment, and we're on track to deliver those standards in the course of this year or early next year. The European Commission is also required to prepare guidance about the Cyber Resilience Act to support manufacturers and others in the implementation of the Cyber Resilience Act. And in December last year, in 2025, we already published frequently asked questions on our website. You can find them on the European Commission's website that will help manufacturers to comply. And more guidance will follow in the coming months. So we intend to also publish additional guidance, more legal interpretative guidance in the coming months, which will also become available on our website. We've also been working closely with ENISA, and ENISA will also deliver a single reporting platform in the coming months that will facilitate the reporting of exploited vulnerabilities and severe incidents by manufacturers. And last but not least, I have to say, of course, that member states also have their role under the Cyber Resilience Act. and they are busy setting up notifying bodies for conformity assessment bodies and market surveillance authorities that will be involved with the enforcement of the Cyber Resilience Act. Then finally, I think it's important also to take note of the specific position of micro enterprises, small and medium enterprises. Very important, of course, in the context also of this particular meeting organized by the SECURE project. Indeed, we have to take account of the fact that contrary to large enterprises, those mSMEs, they will often not have the necessary in-house expertise or dedicated security departments that will help them to facilitate compliance with the Cyber Resilience Act. So the Cyber Resilience Act also provides for support actions for mSMEs. So in particular, member states, European Union member states, they're working on certain actions to support mSMEs, awareness raising, training, setting up of communication channels, and they may also establish regulatory sandboxes that will help to ensure compliance by mSMEs. But on our side, on the Commission side, I already mentioned that we are developing implementation guidance for which we, of course, take into account the position of micro and small and medium enterprises. But we will also advertise financial support mechanisms, and we are working on the development of a simplified form for technical documentation that companies need to distribute, make available for the compliance with the Cyber Resilience Act. And finally, I should mention, I already mentioned the financial support, but I have to mention that under the Digital Europe program, one of the EU funding instruments, we are providing for funding for SME support actions. In total, we have made available until now already about 60 million euros that can be used by projects to develop tools or guidance that can be used by small and medium enterprises. But also, and that of course brings us back to the SECURE project, also to make available small grants for small and medium enterprises that will help them to implement the cyber resilience. So I'll stop there. I hope that gives you a short impression of what the CRA is and where we currently stand in the implementation. And I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the program today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Csaba, for your intervention. So, as Luca Nicoletti already mentioned, the SECURE project is financed under the Digital Europe program, and we had the pleasure to have with us a representative of the European Commission. Today, as you can see, we are in the hall of European Parliament representation in Italy. And now we have another European representative, in particular from the European Cybersecurity Competence Center, which is which manages actually the Digital Europe program call for which we applied to start provide this opportunity of funding to the enterprise with SECURE project. So it's a pleasure to leave the floor to Luca Tagliaretti, that is the Executive Director of the European Cybersecurity Competence Center.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. The SECURE project is a very active project. We've been already in a number of events, launching the call and launching the initiative, and now having this dissemination day. So it's really, we're really proud and happy of the work that the NCCs are doing. Before Luca shared the slide with the number of NCCs, this is really an initiative that shows how when member states or NCCs gather together, they are very efficient, and this is really an initiative that should be taken as an example in other fields. As Giuseppe mentioned before, the European Union has put a number of funds available for implementation of for helping the industry to get prepared for the implementation of the CRA, but not only for the CRA, for the NIS2, for DORA, for all the other regulations that have been drafted and prepared for making the ecosystem more secure. So the ECCC is in charge of running the project, running the funds, setting up projects, setting up calls, and then awarding calls, running the following up project. I want to give you a bit of an overview where we stand in terms of funds made available, not just on the CRA, but more in general. So rather than a slide, I will just take our dashboard, which I think provide a good idea of the let's see. Let me just 1 second, made it available. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, as usual, it's not here. You should be able to see. What do you see now? And help me out.
Yes, we can see the screen.
Yes, I can see now. The name was wrong. Okay, so this is a dashboard where we stand today in terms of investment since the ECCC was created 3 years ago, and then since a year and a half financially independent. So at the moment we have invested around of EU funds 600 million. This equaling the market of around 916 million. This chart only show projects already signed. There are another at least 150 million which are not being signed. 90 million for Horizon project, which are pure research, another 55 million for depth investment on uptake of technology. So as we conclude in the next few months the signature of the project, we will reach around 740 million. This equal to 194 projects running. Just think about the SECURE is one project. So SECURE is just one project of 20 million, which involve a large number of NCC and a large number of participants in the market, but it's just one of the 194. In particular, SECURE is a project which is funded through the financial support to the NCC. So it's not even in the package here. It's one of the projects that the ECC is funding through the NCCs, through the national authority. So this is to give you the scope of the activity of the center so far. We do not have here the slide of the NCC involvement, but there are more than 80 million of NCC. So this is why it's so important that the NCC and the member state use these funds to reach as much as possible, as many SME, as many startup, as many micro enterprise. They will not be able to access directly maybe our funds because of the difficulty sometimes to apply. I'll give you another slide. Let's see if it moves. No, it doesn't move. So let me just go here. Let me stop sharing and re-share. So I want to show you also another bit of okay. The system is not working, but let me go back on something else then. Yes, at the beginning of his presentation, Luca Nicoletti talked about the importance of the community, and this is something that I want to stress again today in our discussion. So we have almost $1 billion invested in the market. We have reached thousands of companies, but what we miss now, and this is the next step, is we need to make sure that all the project that we sponsor and finance, all the technology that we have selected and on which we have invested is available for helping all of us, for helping the industry. And this is why we have created this database, the Atlas, which is it should be used by us as really a way of boosting the innovation in Europe. So the ambition is to create a digital market, like a virtual space for our digital market. Now, the Atlas was launched only a couple of months ago, but we are nowhere where ambitions are. So let me share this one. At the moment, if I'm looking today, I only see 140 company registered. So this is not good enough. So my pleasure, my request to the NCC, first of all, is to speed up the registration of the industry of the company to the Atlas. Without this registration, we won't be able to involve them the way that we want to be. So this is definitely on the NCC side. I know some of the NCC are on the audience or connected, but also I will ask the company to do their part and to actively engage with the national entity, with the national NCC, with ACN in Italy or with the other NCC in the other part of Europe, to make sure that they are registered. And once this is done, then we will start thinking how we could capitalize on this connection to, first of all, get your feedback on our work program. We have another year with this current budget, with the current debt project or program until the end of 2027. So we have at least one possibility to get company industry feedback in the work program. So we want to do this by the end of the year. So it's important that at that moment, before that moment, we get all the company registered. We also want to use it as a vehicle to provide information, as today is done by the SECURE project. The idea is to also have a way of communicating directly when there are new possibility, when there are new funds, when there are new technology, and also more and more we see how it's important for company to find each other on the market. So we have this virtual event like the one of today. We sometimes we have conference or fair. We need to add an additional tool, which is this European database. So again, my message is please engage with us. Please engage with the NCC. Let's build this European cyber community the way it should be. Atlas is a great SECURE is a great example. We need to replicate this on a broader scale, and we need to make sure that we really, all of us, benefit of the funds that the European Union made available for reinforcing our security and our resilience. I think that's what I want to send as a message. So SECURE, CRA is one bit. There are other elements in our budget. Please also look at the call which are open. You might be interested to apply, or you might be interested to find other partners to apply, and there is a possibility for all of us to get a bit involved. Thank you, and then I wish you a good continuation of the day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Luca. We actually take your invite to join other ECCC and European initiatives as a SECURE project. We are already talking with other European projects, and we are happy, of course, to promote also other initiatives. I now want to welcome on the stage Paolo Spagnoletti, who is the president of Cyber 4.0 and the full professor at Lewis University. Cyber 4.0, as Luca Nicoletti already mentioned, is one of the partners of the SECURE project. In particular, is the technical partner who is implementing the financial support to third parties process and platform. So please, Paolo.
Thank you, Alessandro, and good morning, everyone. I'm very honored to be here, and I would like to share my reflection on three aspects. First of all, to explain why I'm so proud to take part to this introduction this morning. Second one, as a scholar, I also like to share my own perspective on the problem which that we are addressing with the SECURE project. And finally, I would like to delve into the meaning of what we are doing by reflecting on these issues. So, first of all, until recently, cybersecurity was considered as a technical issue. But with the Cyber Resilience Act, as we have been seeing so far, Europe is saying something much more radical, that security is an industrial responsibility. And so the cry is not just another regulation. It can be seen as a structural intervention on digital products that are part of interconnected cyber-physical infrastructures in the energy, in the mobility, in the healthcare, in the manufacturing services. When we regulate digital products, we are shaping the resilience of the entire industrial ecosystem. So we are involved in a very important project, but I guess that many of us in this room and online have been growing professionally through European projects. At least this was my own experience. My first experience with the European project dates back to when I was a student. I was part of an association which was called Board of European Students of Technologies, and at that time European funds were invested to bring together students and to create a network, a community in Europe 30 years ago. But then over the years, we have been involved in projects that span across various countries and also on addressing different challenges. Projects about building automotive systems with French and German partners, projects on building digital identities frameworks at that time with the UK as a coordinating entity. Projects on building B2B platforms with Eastern countries involved, and projects for building social media-based solution for elderly care. So different domains, different countries, but always the same spirit. Working together, understanding different perspectives, and designing practical solutions. This is what we like about European projects. And this cross-border collaboration is something that many of you know very well. Today, with this project, I see the same spirit in the energy of the Cyber 4.0 team, in the commitment of our affiliated partners, and in a strong cooperation with institutions and companies across the network. So this spirit of collective action gives real substance to this project. But let me move to the problem space again. European projects have left us with many prototypes. Services built on distributed components, shared platforms, cross-border infrastructures. But making those systems work in practice requires something essential: reliability. And reliability requires trust. Now, when digital products depend on software components, external libraries, suppliers, and update mechanism, each dependency becomes a point of exposure. And we know that every trust relationship is also a potential vulnerability. So for many years, cybersecurity policy focused mainly on protecting services and networks, but with the Cyber Resilience Act, the focus shifts directly to digital products, and the shift is clear. We are moving from assumed trust to structured responsibility. Responsibility that starts at the design stage that continues through updates and vulnerability management and lasts for the entire life cycle of the product. So it's not just about compliance, it's about embedding reliability into digital products from the beginning. And for small and medium enterprises, this shift is not trivial at all. And that's because we cannot imagine compliance as a simple checklist implemented in a stable environment. Companies, and especially small and medium enterprises, operate under pressure, technological, competitive, regulatory, but they also engage with power relations between large manufacturers, suppliers, and these relations are often asymmetric. So security by design is not about achieving a static and perfect solution. It's about building the capacity to manage uncertainty over time. It means defining internal responsibilities, establishing vulnerability management processes, maintaining documentation, coordinating technical, legal, and managerial functions. And so it means security by design means also governance by design. And that's the real challenge. Now, as a national competence center in cybersecurity, our mission has always been related to cyber capacity building, supporting small and medium enterprises, strengthening skills, connecting research, institutions, and industry. And SECURE, the SECURE project, fits naturally in this broader commitment. It creates a space where institutions, competence center, companies that need support, and companies that provide cyber capabilities can work together. It combines guidance, training, and practical tools with concrete financial support. This is not abstract policy. It is a collective action translated into operational capacity. Now, just to come to a conclusion, in our fragmented geopolitical landscape, resilience becomes a strategic asset. A harmonized European framework for digital products does not only reduce risk, it shapes the resilience of our industrial ecosystem and contributes to the trust on which our digital economy depends. So many of us began our European journey building connection across borders, and today we are reinforcing Europe by embedding responsibility and resilience into digital products, and we are therefore reinforcing the infrastructure of trust on which the European digital economy depends. And that, in my view, is the real significance of this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Paolo Spagnoletti. Now we are going to have some quick roundtable. We are hosting different companies, different organizations, both from Italy and from other countries in Europe, to have a representation of the companies that are actually under the scope of the Cyber Resilience Act. So we are going to have an overview of the actual needs of manufacturing companies that are producing, importing or distributing products with digital elements. So I'm pleased to welcome on the stage Matteo Macina, that is member of the Cybersecurity Working Group of Asso Lombarda. Stephanie Verderitz, I hope I spell it well, Project Manager and Policy Advisor, Platform for Industry 4.0 from Austria. We have a remote connection of Beatriz Garcia del Pozo, that is Head of Regulation and Information Security Management of INCIBE from Spain. You can take a seat, please. I ask also maybe to the direction to have the screen with Beatriz that is connecting from remote. Paolo Brizzi, that is Digital Factory Program Lead, CIO of CIM Competence Center, Italy. And last but not least, Lorenzo Patera, that is IT Program Manager of BIREX Competence Center. So welcome. I hope Beatrice, yeah, I see her connected. I hope she can hear us, and I hope we, okay, thank you. So we are going to just two quick round of questions that I will introduce to you in order to have your point of view of on some few topics. So I will ask to answer in with the experience of your organizations and your everyday work. So the first one is based on your experience. What are the key cybersecurity needs of the manufacturing companies you work with? We talk in particular of those producing, of course, goods with digital elements. And what are the main cyber threats affecting this sector? And if you believe that the rise in cyber incident is significantly in some way impacting products with the digital elements manufacturing sector, operational activities, and if also, it's a long question, I know, if can compliance with European cybersecurity regulation and standard help to mitigate those effects. So I would start from Matteo Macina from Assolombarda.
Okay, it works. Yes. First of all, thank you very much for the invitation. I bring you greetings from the president, Alvise Biffi. I don't know if you know Assolombarda. Assolombarda is one of the association of company from the metropolitan.
You can try with the other one, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. A matter of products. Assolombarda bring together the companies that operates in the metropolitan city of Milan and also the city from Lodi, Monza, Brianza, and Pavia. And it's the main association in the Confindustria system. Just to have an idea, we cover over 7,000 companies, and that deliver products or services at national and international level that employ more than 400,000 people. Just to have an outlook, an idea of what Assolombarda is. Based on the question you are facing us, it's important to highlight that Assolombarda wants to play a central role in the digitalization process of our companies. So we push the digital adoption within our companies, and we help them to adopt to adopt digital instruments. And it's important also to highlight that we cover small and medium enterprise, but also big corporation. That's why we start from I think 10 years ago, a specific cybersecurity working group, which I'm part of it, with the idea to share information, to understand how to be concrete in a public and private partnership to help mainly the small enterprise to understand what they have to do based on the experience on the large enterprise. When you mentioned to what we need, I would say two main direction. On one side, we need to raise awareness, specifically when we talk with the property of the company. Okay, so we have to explain to understand that cybersecurity, as we heard before, it's not a technical issue, but it's a matter of business continuity, and it's a matter of to be competitive on the market based on the market that is at national level, but also at international level. And on the other side, we believe that it's important to to give the company practical support. So when you face small and medium enterprise, they are not so mature in cybersecurity topics, and we need to help them to provide practical tools to be able to to implement the cybersecurity requirement that they need to adopt. In that sense, we believe that our objective is to make security more accessible and practical. Okay, so from my point of view, these are the main two topics to address cybersecurity as a Solombardo.
Thank you very much. We will come back with the second question, and I would ask Stephanie to intervene on this topic too.
Okay, I think the microphone works. Okay, thank you. Yes, I will also start with briefly introducing the organization I work for. It's platform Industry 4.0 Austria. It is the national platform for the digital transformation of the manufacturing sector in Austria. And our members comprise a lot of different businesses, large corporations, multinational businesses, but also small, medium-sized businesses and startups, and other intermediaries and partners who help to make a better ecosystem for industry in Austria and Europe. We are also arranging our activities around 4 key topics, which are key enabling technologies for the next generation of production, circular production, and what we call Work 5.0. And moreover, of course, we are involved in a lot of European and national projects, which are helping SMEs and mid-caps and small companies to be able to transform their production and products with digital elements for the future. So coming to the questions, already I can agree with what has been said already. I would like to start with some information and some numbers from Austria. From our experience and also from a survey in the manufacturing sector in Austria, we know that manufacturing is already and is increasingly becoming more digital, which means not only the production process itself, but also the products. And this is true for all sectors. So from the survey, we learned that more than 60% of companies in manufacturing reported that their main product contains at least one digital element. And also almost 1/3 of products are connected to the internet or to some other automated data exchange. Every 6 companies also already using remote maintenance services, and they use digital solutions beyond standards, like, for example, IoT application, cloud-based services, etc. So we can see that products with digital elements, which this crowd is covering, are really something that is a topic for a lot of companies. And coming to the needs, from my experience and what I learned from Austrian companies, is that there is still a mindset shift that needs to be done, because a lot of SMEs just see cybersecurity as a cost factor, something that has to be done, but less as a competitive factor. And also cybersecurity is perceived as a black box sometimes. This is also due to some structural issues that small companies face. Yeah, I think in Europe, but also in Austria, that especially small companies that have below 100 employees, often those companies don't have an own IT department, and not to speak of cybersecurity team. So sometimes there's not so much knowledge inside of companies on this topic. And also there's, of course, a European structural problem that about 200,000 to 300,000 cybersecurity specialists are lacking, So if there is not an expert within the company, sometimes it's also not a topic for management. So there is a lack of awareness within the management, and cybersecurity has not been a top priority in the past, which leads also to a lack of software governance structures, which makes the products more vulnerable to attacks. And of course, the more digital products are becoming, the more of a risk this is. And just to give an example, which really surprised us, or maybe illustrated a bit, last week there has been striking news in press that one person, a hobby programmer, just got access to over 6,000 connected vacuum cleaner robots, could see people's homes through the cameras. And this was just due to a weak authentication and cloud misconfiguration setting, which of course did a lot of damage to the company producing this product. So we can see that only small measures can avoid a lot of loss. So what I also want to say, that I believe that there's not only the need to be more safe, but also there is a chance for competitive advantage through cybersecurity, because if their products, if they're compliant with the Cyber Resilience Act, you can put the CE mark on the product. This creates a lot of trust, and this could also be a competitive advantage against other competitors which cannot tell that they're trustworthy. And I think end consumers value this. I'm not sure. I think I'm running out of time. So
yeah, a bit, but maybe the second question. Yeah.
Continue later.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Now I leave the floor to Beatriz Garcia del Pozo from INCIBE.
Thanks, Alessandro, for the introduction. Although remotely, it's a pleasure to be here and share the vision of INCIBE in this roundtable. INCIBE is the Spanish National Cybersecurity Institute. It's a governmental entity dependent of the Ministry of Digital Transformation and Public Function through the Secretary of State for Telecommunication and Digital Infrastructure. It is the entity of reference for the development of cybersecurity and the digital trust of citizens, the Spanish academic and research network, and private companies, especially at strategic sectors. As a center of excellence, INCIBE is the instruments of the government for the development of cybersecurity as an engine of social transformation and opportunity for innovation. With these activities based on research, the provision of services, and the coordination with the main national agents with competencies in this area, INCIBE leads cybersecurity activities at national and also international level. The INCIBE's mission is to improve the cybersecurity and digital trust of citizens, minors, and private companies in Spain, to protect and defend Spain's citizens, minors, and also private companies, to strengthen the Spanish cybersecurity industry, and to promote Spanish research, development, and innovation in cybersecurity. And finally, to identify, generate, attract, and develop professionals in the cybersecurity sector. Our mission is to be a driving force for the digital transformation of our society, protecting citizens, minors, and private companies in Spain, and fostering the cybersecurity industry, research, development, and innovation, and talent for the whole vision. INCIBE operates the INCIBE CERT, the Security Incident Response Centers of reference for citizens and private entities in Spain. And also INCIBE has been designated at National Coordination Center in Spain, the NCCS, of the European Cybersecurity Competence Centers. With those functions, We supporting the national ecosystem in participate European projects at the SECURE one, and also strengthen national cybersecurity ecosystems and its integration in the European market. With those functions, we can evaluate that nowadays threat landscape is more complex. It's time everything is interconnected and a high level of exposure surface is in place. This is a scenario with more threats and exploited vulnerabilities risks at the end. Incidents in one product are targeted and spreading to several users and companies. Jointly, the urgent time to market in many products is another issue to be considered in this scenario where cybersecurity was being in a second place. This regulation, the Cyber Resilient Act, established a set of minimum cybersecurity requirements based on well-known best practice, such as security by design and monitoring for vulnerabilities during the whole life cycle of a product, in order to be placed on the market secure products with digital elements. The adoption and implementation of this best practice is going to improve the security of PDEs and also enable businesses and customers to use this product securely. But manufacturing companies or vendors will need to review the compliance of all of them. The challenge has a very different approach between manufacturers or vendors because of their level of maturity in cybersecurity. In Spain, for example, the most enterprises, more than 90%, are micro, small, and medium enterprises. And the impact of this regulation that depends on their presence in the market of these specific product categories. Several of them are required for extra effort, and they also need extra support to afford the compliance. We like to say that the compliance cost must be seen as an investment that would be overweighted by the benefits brought by a higher level of cybersecurity of this kind of products, and ultimately promote or get an increase of the trust of user of this kind of products.
Thank you, Beatrice. Now we have two competence centers from Italy. I leave the floor first to Paolo Brizzi from CIM Competence Center.
Thank you. First of all, let me introduce the Competence Center in general, since there are three here. So thank you to Cyber 4.0 for inviting us. CIM, together with BIREX, are part of a network made by 8 competence centers. We almost do the same work since we were funded by the Italian government about in 2019 to supporting companies to the adoption of Industry 4.0 technologies. Then we have different focuses. As the name cyber is focused only on cybersecurity, CIM is focused on digital technologies applied to the manufacturing ecosystem, including additive manufacturing, AI, and cybersecurity, and so on. So a part of the brief introduction, I try to say some minutes. I totally agree with what the colleague said before, but there is a keyword that I really like. The keyword is awareness. Both, all three persons say the same. Company needs to be much more aware about cybersecurity. To stress this concept, I'm used to say this, the target of companies which tries to support small and medium enterprises as well as larger one toward the adoption of cybersecurity is exactly awareness. And there is a sort of simple parallelism with a different type of security, which is safety. Across Europe, more than 20 years ago, we started discussing about safety, about regulation, about prescription of, for example, the usage of personal protective equipment. So the helmet, the shoes, the gloves, or whatever. Today, if you speak with companies, with manufacturing companies, for example, also the last person within the company, not the CEO, the last blue collar is well aware about the relevance, the importance of having the helmets or the mask or whatever. Because in the last about 20 years, there was a big action, a big knowledge and awareness program, courses, regulation, and whatever. So today we see the results. The number of incidents, the number of deaths, which is still high, but definitely this number is better than in the past. I see for the cybersecurity the same. So the company have to target this, the institution have to target this, but the street is still long. And then I want to add another perspective related with the question what the company need. The company need to perform business. So the only way to teach to a company that cybersecurity is relevant is to give the perspective of the business. If the cybersecurity accident impacts negatively on the business, the company can understand it. No way, because today the cybersecurity is just still seen as a pure cost. So a pure obligation about regulation and so on. Furthermore, if they already had an attack or they had to pay to recover certain data after ransomware or whatever, they definitely not so happy about discussing it freely or publicly. Even if the Italian regulation as well as the NIS2 suggest or oblige companies to signal the events, the company today still prefer to forget or not to say to anyone. In about six years, my personal experience was to know just one company which were somehow happy to discuss publicly in an event like this one about their problem and about 300 kilo euros they invested to recover data. I suppose that companies should be in the future a bit more confident or a bit more open to discuss also about existing or concretely happened problem. And this is toward the overall awareness about these type of problems.
Thank you, Paolo. So the last intervention for the first question, then we are a bit late, but I think we still have time to have another minute each for a second question. So, but before I leave the floor to Lorenzo Patera from BRX.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Lorenzo Patera, IT Program Manager at the BRX Competence Center of Bologna. So BRX, just briefly, is one of the 8 competence centers in Italy. Is the only one that is led directly by the industry leaders and not by the university leaders, and comprehends 66 partners across university, research centers, and company. Our main focus is to help the companies in digitalizing, so basically all the digitalization, sustainability, and innovation issues. We are actually focused on big data, so we try to invest more and more and more on extracting values from the data that company has. So, in order to answer briefly to the questions, so basically, so what we have seen with our companies in our partnership in Emilia-Romagna territory, we see that the needs from the companies are very practical in some way. So they ask a lot by sort of security by design. So the problem is that there are no solution that provides security by design. So we cannot do like a plugin. We just buy some security from external vendors. So we insert the security into our mechanisms, our products, and our ecosystem, because it's not just a plugin. It's something that we need to tackle together with all the companies from which we bought our libraries, from which we bought our softwares, from which we buy our equipment. Okay. And this is more true, of course, for all the products with digital elements. So a product with digital element is a part of a chain, is not a product by itself. And also the life cycle of the entire products does not end when the products leave the company that produced it. The product goes in production, then this device, for example, is connected. This device is susceptible to firmware updates. So we need to tackle these kind of issues from the entire life cycle in the product to the end of the life cycle of the product. So the companies must be aware about this. So the second part that we see in mainly in the Emilia-Romagna territory is the difference between the operational technology part and the information technology part. So we have a lot of companies that produces goods that are mainly focused on the operational technology part. So of course they have to produce. They have a lot of data, they have a lot of machines that produce every day, and they see cybersecurity as a cost, but also as a problem of business continuity. So they see that if they insert the cybersecurity into their mechanisms, their machine will stop working for some days until they, of course, put all the things in the right place. Okay, so this is of course a problem. So about the main threats that we have seen in the sector, so we've seen some companies that had some ransomware attacks or double extortion attacks. So as also Paolo suggested before, so they directly impact on the production and on the company revenues, of course. So there are a lot of exploitation of vulnerabilities on VPNs, on gateways, on exported services by the companies, and on unpatched systems. So of course, cybersecurity does not stop today that I update the firmware. So in a couple of days there will be more threats. I will update again the firmware on my machines. And of course, there are also supply chain attacks. So remember that a company is not isolated, but works in a chain with a lot of other companies. So we need to tackle this problem, this issue with all the companies of the chain. Okay. Then in order to answer to the last question, so the compliance with the European cybersecurity regulation, if this could help to mitigate these effects, yes, of course. But the problem is that it's not just an IT issue. Okay, so all the companies must know that this is a business continuity issue. It's not something that they just fix it and they've done like this. And it impacts the business continuity, the quality, the deliveries, and the reputation of the company itself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So as I said, we are a bit late. I would ask you to shorter your question for your answer to my last question, and I will try to summarize also the question indeed. And I would ask just how your organization is concretely. Some of you already answered this question a bit, but how you are concretely helping companies in increasing their cybersecurity posture, but also and in particular in increasing their compliance, their regulatory compliance, in particular with the Cyber Resilience Act in this case. And of course, how also the SECURE project could help you in providing those supports. So we will start again. I will from Matteo Macina.
Yes, just quick suggestion. So first of all, it's important to, as already mentioned, to highlight that the CRH, address a problem at its root. So we manage since today the security as a sort of plugin that it's an optional extra that we will need to implement after the delivering of an infrastructure. But right now we are shifting the approach in a security by design by default approach. This is a really game changer in the approach, and it will impact from our point of view more than 4 million of company at the EU level. So where we are and what we need, I think that from our point of view, we'll still need to to raise awareness on what CRA is. So we feel that the company really doesn't understand what is the impact of the regulation. That's why, and I will just close. That's why we plan, for example, a webinar on next 12 of March that is open to everyone as ASL Lombarda, and we do this webinar also with the National Cybersecurity Agency, focus on the CRA. And it's important to highlight that it's open to everyone. You will find the details in our website. So it's not, closed to the ASL Lombarda companies, but everyone who want to we will able to join us. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good news, and we will keep it in mind, of course. Stephanie, please.
So what we think it's important at Platform Industry 4.0 is, of course, that we observe that a lot of companies already want to do something about cybersecurity, but sometimes they ask, okay, how can we start? How can we make the implementation feasible? And this is also where we try to help, and this is also where the SECURE project comes in, because the project does a very important thing. It does translate the regulatory framework and into practical guidance, and also provide some tools to really start implementing, which is really important, first to understand and then also to take the first steps, and step by step. This is what we tell, and also to see it as a chance to be more competitive if you're early on. So what is also important is that we think there's a great European ecosystem already in place, like, for example, the European Digital Innovation Hubs. Some companies may know them because they are distributed across different regions in Europe. There are about 200 European Digital Innovation Hubs, and they are, in many cases, the first place, the first point of contact for small and medium-sized enterprises who want to become more digital. So also for the SECURE project, we believe that there are great partners to spread the message, to raise awareness, to start helping SMEs make their production more secure, but also to inform them about other projects like ours and how this can help. So for SMEs, the message is, and for all companies, to use the network that is already in place and get the help and make the most out of it. And maybe as a final message, as we already discussed a lot, cybersecurity is no longer only an IT issue. It is really something which is at the core of the product. And so it has to be also a top management priority. And it is the Cyber Resilience Act does provide a framework for a more secure and competitive product and ecosystem in Europe. So that's it from my side.
Thank you, Stephanie. Beatrice?
I agree with my colleagues of this roundtable, and as I mentioned previously, it's absolutely necessary providing the specific support to those subject matters of this regulation more susceptible to carry out a relative bigger effort to prepare the implementation to comply. According to INCIBE's mission, we are developing public policies and activities in order to providing this kind of support. We are working closely to Industrial Association in Spain as a public-private partnership model with specific awareness activities about CRA. Also, we are collaborating and participating in expert groups specific for implementation of CRA, for example, those for development of harmonized standards. And of course, we are a member of this consortium of the SECURE project. And our role of NCCS, we are involving in the process of cascade financial support to micro, small and medium enterprises. And also we collaborate and elaborate and providing useful resources from guidelines, tools, training, as you mentioned previously, to achieve the compliance of CRA. We think that the combination of the financial and technical support is the way to effectively help companies to improve their cybersecurity of the product. And it is an added value to be competitive in the European market. And also our companies, the European companies, manufacturers and vendors will be a trusted partner in the world one. Thank you.
Thank you. Paolo, just 1 minute each.
Sure. Also, CIM coordinated through ADIH. So thanks to this program, as well as our normal job, we had the possibility to discuss with the company almost every day. So the fact is that company can today be supported by funding, and so I suppose that the SECURE project somehow can use the same approach. So providing to companies the first access to cybersecurity instrument or assessment or early penetration testing or early strategy, thanks to a funding mechanism. And so it becomes easier for companies to address this type of innovation, technological innovation. The second point is that doing cybersecurity is not like doing safety, as said before, because you need really important and complex and difficult to find expertises. Within the market, there are few companies in relation with the system integrator on the market able to do this. So it is very important, and I suppose that also SECURE can do that, to perform the right matchmaking among the company, the big player needs, as well as the big system integrator servicing offering, as well as the smaller system integrator offering according to the smaller company needs. Because there is a lot of answer, but the offering is not that high, especially the high quality offering. So this is very relevant because company want to speak with company because they speak the same languages.
Thank you. And then Lorenzo.
Okay, so basically the obstacles that small and medium enterprises are facing are mainly three for our perspective. So there is a cost and skill gap that is something that must be tackled. For the security specialists that are scarce, as also Paolo said, and teams are really small. And then there is the fear of the operational impact. As I said before, there is the problem that any change to network, to the remote access, to the connectivity is perceived as a risk to the business continuity, so to downtime of the machines. And then there is the compliance complexity. So it's not something plug-in, it's something that you have to put to translate all the requirements into technical actions and then to collect the evidence without creating a lot of bureaucracy, actually. So BREX was designed as a sort of innovation one-stop shop. So basically, companies came to BREX to get the guidance, the assessment, the training, the networking, and the project, and some pilots also. In my opinion, the point with SECURE is the same. So in this scenario, SECURE can be promoted as a concrete support for the companies because it fits very well also with the model of BREX and all the other innovation hub and other competence center in Italy. So there is an assessment phase, a test and pilot phase, the skills, and then the adoption from the final companies. So as BREX, we can help, of course, as small and medium enterprises to translate these requirements into a sort of technical perspective and operational plan, while SECURE acts as a sort of European level accelerator for this part, and funding, of course, that is always important.
Thank you very much to all of you for your valuable contribution. So please, we can give a little clap down. Thank you very much.
Okay, so good morning to everyone. My name is Carmelo. I'm working at the LSC NC3, the National Competence Center in Luxembourg, and we are partner of this project, this challenging project. Mainly, I'm responsible for the working package 5. And as Andrea told us just a couple of minutes before, this working package is taking care about content development. The idea is rather simple. It's true that CRR is going to be in place within, let's say, a couple of years, but we don't start from scratches. There is a lot of knowledge, there is a lot of competence around, and we need to be able to make this experience available in order to avoid to start again from scratches. So basically, this is the idea behind this working package. So we will try to collect experience, and we try to share that experience with company that need to implement the CRR. And that could be an advantage. Why? Because basically, as we heard, there are several other projects that are working on the same topic, maybe from different perspective, but on the same topic. Because there are competence that belongs to other domain of the market on different sector, on different initiative, but are rather similar to the CRR content. So it could be wise to put together all this knowledge together in order to facilitate to support the implementation of the CRR. So it's a really straightforward idea. So during the next few months, we are going to develop these schemes. Basically, these schemes say that in the preliminary phase, basically now, we are going to collect experience about different other sector, mainly I will consider the automotive sector, medical device sector. They have different standards. They have to comply with different standards, but the standards are quite similar. So why we don't get knowledge, we don't get experience, so we try to understand what are the bottlenecks, what are the constraints, and what are the drivers in order to implement the CRR from that experiences. And then we are going to design a European survey that will try to involve all the company over the Europe market And then we are going to select, let's say, best cases, but also worst cases. Why worst cases? Because we want to understand what are the gap that needs to be fulfilled, overcome, and that could be a way to tackle difficulties coming from the small company in particular in order to implement the CRR. And this, I think, is valuable knowledge that could be shared. And of course, then the next year we start again and we repeat the cycle. I hope that by the end of the project we will have really useful and practical knowledge, and I hope that that platform will be maintained even in the future. So when the project will finish, we'll be maintaining to share, to have the opportunity to to share the experience. So this is basically what we need to do. So we proceed from an investigation that try to investigate, to consider the level of maturity, the readiness of the market, the readiness of the company, not only from the technical perspective. It was interesting this morning. I heard this concept that I share, I like it, and I will use governance by design. This is the first time that I heard that, and I think we need to implement also aspects related to the governance of the CRR. It's not simply a technical standard. Of course, it's a technical standard. But you know better than me that in order to implement a standard, then you have to manage. You need to perform a risk assessment. You need to investigate what are the vulnerability. You have to communicate with the NISA. You have to communicate with the other producer. You have to take care about the supply chains and so on. So if you don't have an appropriate model, reference model to manage all this process, of course, the technical aspect could be implemented, but we will fail in implementing. And when we are talking about the implementation of standards, somebody has said, companies speak the business language. That's why I think governance by design and the language of the company that need to make business must be work together. So our challenge is to collect this experience not simply from the technical perspective, but all around aspect that can influence the implementation of the CRR. So, and the first step, we're going to collect information and experience about readiness and level of maturity, and then step by step, maybe we're going into details, technical details, to understand more closely what are the gaps, what are the driving forces in order to implement the CRR. From my perspective, CRR have a really peculiar characteristic. As any act, any piece of legislation has a mandatory compliance, but also shape in a way market-driven competition. Was mentioned this morning again, for quality, for safety, a company were forced to implement. And I'm sure that that will happen again. That driving force will come again back. So company will see at the first level, first try has a new piece of legislation on top of all the aspects, but it's important, and I think European Commission make the right decision, that will become a market-driven competition. So company that will take the real opportunity, simply has an opportunity, I need to be compliant, I need another piece of paper, I think will be out of the market quite soon. companies said that they see this as an opportunity to improve, to get their offer, their service at another stage of accuracy, they will be gaining perspective. And if you put this in the context of global perspective, this is quite important challenge in order to consolidate Europe as an independent technology-driven force. So this is our task to collect information that could be shared with the company. Of course, I mentioned already some key factor, some strategic driver, like increase of reputation, better vision, better exposure, visibility on the market, but also there will be some constraint, of course. Company need to find the right competencies, the resources, they need to have the time, they need to have the right skills. So it's really not easy for small company in particular that have to compete on the market, a market that is not well structured yet. So that will put another extra stress on the market. But we need to see on the medium-term perspective. Sorry. And our scope is to investigate what are the main obstacles. Considering all the requirements of the CRR, we are going to investigate what are the obstacles. And of course, since we need to talk the language of SMEs, we need to understand what are the efforts, what the company fears in terms of cost compliance, engineering rework, time to market delay, because maybe I start my process, I need 1 year, 2 years in order to be compliant, and I can't sell my product because I'm out of the market. So these are really aspects that go really beyond this simple application of standard, and that must be considered in an appropriate way. Okay, so I will say, as I said, at this stage, we can learn from other experiences. In particular, we identify similar standards that are considered in different other sectors, like aviation, automotive, medical devices, and more or less, they have the same structure. They have the same requirements. And basically are based on structural lifecycle management, risk-based approach, traceability, verification, validation, post-market monitoring aspect. And these are exactly the same requirements of the CRR. So we said we don't wait till the end of this project or till December 2027 to start to collect information. We start from now. Okay, and this is more or less the time schedule for this year that we are going to repeat next year. So at this stage, we are interviewing company, in particular in the automotive, in order to collect the experience, and that experience will be translated in terms of CRR implementation process, and we aim to deliver all this knowledge by the end of this year. Okay, thank you. And this will be ongoing process, so we don't finish with this year, we continue next year, but I'm sure that we don't finish with this secure project.
Of course, yeah, totally agree. Thank you very much, Carmelo. I think we have managed to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you. So I leave the floor to Yves from Belgium, CCB, and then to I'd ask to share your screen. We can see your screen. Please, okay. Yves.
Thank you all, and sorry for the starting early, but we were not able to see nor listen you, so it was not able for us for me to start. Okay, so good morning, you all. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Yves Streel, working for Center for Cybersecurity Belgium inside the NCC team. We are part of the SECURE project, and basically we are leading the work package 4. Work package 4, it's all about knowledge and capacity enhancement. SECURE project is about to support European SME. My presentation will focus on guidance to strengthen cybersecurity capabilities and compliance to Cyber Resilience Act. So 3 guidelines and 1 tool are available on our SECURE project website. You can find them under the central repositories section. The first guideline focuses on CRA obligation, while the 2 others are more practical recommendations. So let's start with the CRA 101. It's a beginner-friendly guideline, crucial for the understanding of micro SMEs, and especially for those with, as of yet, limited knowledge on the CRA. This guideline makes the CRA legal text more tangible by providing a simplified overview of the key CRA obligation. The overview does not cover all obligations, nor does it include all exceptions to the legislation. The CRA introduced harmonized cybersecurity requirements across the EU. It applies to manufacturers, importers, distributors of products with digital elements. In terms of timeline, CRA entered into force by December 2024, reporting obligation start in 2026, and full application in December 2027, as already mentioned by Chairman. Manufacturers must ensure cybersecurity by design, a documented and regularly updated risk assessment, including intended use, operational environment, and supply chain element. Vulnerabilities must be handled effectively throughout the support period. Security updates must be free of charge and long-term. And finally, support period must be clearly defined and communicated. Manufacturers must inform users clearly and appoint a single point of contact. Strict reporting deadlines apply for actively exploited vulnerabilities and severe incidents. Compliance must be demonstrated through EU Declaration of Conformity and CE marking. Technical documentation must include risk assessment, SBOM, testing report, support period definition, and conformity evidence. In summary, the CRA requires 5 core actions: cybersecurity risk assessment, vulnerability handling and security updates, user information, instruction, and SPOC, reporting obligation about vulnerabilities and incidents, and the last one, conformity assessment. The second guideline focused specifically on Annex 1, Part 1 of the CRA, translating the essential cybersecurity requirement into practical and technical guidance. Annex 1, Part 1 established the foundation principle of the Cyber Resilience Act based on 4 pillars. The 4 pillars are risk-based approach, secure by design and default, lifecycle security, supply chain security. Product with digital element must ensure an appropriate level of cybersecurity based on identified risk. This means cybersecurity cannot be generic or universal. Manufacturers must systematically assess risk across the entire product lifecycle, from design to end of life. The process includes identifying assets that need protection, analyzing threats and vulnerabilities, evaluating impact and likelihood, and prioritizing mitigation measures accordingly. Importantly, this is not just a technical exercise. It must be documented and traceable. For CRA compliance, authorities must be able to follow the logic from identify risk to selected control to verification evidence. The CRA embeds the principle of security by design and by default. Together, this measure ensures security is structurally embedded in the development life cycle. The CRA makes clear that cybersecurity obligations continue after market placement. Manufacturers must monitor vulnerabilities continuously and provide security updates without undue delay, keeping them available for at least 10 years or the defined support period. Transparency is essential, including a public coordinated vulnerability disclosure policy and timely communication with users and authorities. The CRA also recognized the critical role of third-party and open source components. Manufacturers remain responsible for supply chain risk, requiring an up-to-date SBOM, proactive dependency monitoring, and contractual cybersecurity obligation for suppliers, including 24 hours reporting of critical vulnerabilities. The second guideline is a technical review of essential cybersecurity requirements covering 4 structural pillars of the CRA Annex 1, Part 1. First, adopt a risk-based cybersecurity approach across the full life cycle. Security must be proportionate and documented. Second, embed security by design and by default. Architecture and default setting must prioritize security. Third, ensure lifecycle security management, continuous monitoring, timely patching, and transparent disclosure. Fourth, extend cybersecurity governance to the supply chain, maintain an SBOM, monitor open source component, and ensure supplier accountability. Together, these pillars form a comprehensive and defensible framework for the CRA compliance. Let's review now the CRA Maturity Score tool, which allow you to assess your level of cybersecurity and compliance with the Cyber Resilience Act. The CRA Maturity Score surveys cyber resilience at 2 levels. First, at organization level, and secondly, at PDE level. For both, you're required to answer a range of questions through 3 response options: yes, partially, no. This leads to a final score that indicates your level of resilience: low, medium, high. So, the CRA Maturity Score will allow you to further identify gaps that require your attention, supporting you in your journey to full CRA compliance. The third guideline available is the CRA Methodological Compliance Assessment Framework. it provides a structured, practical self-assessment methodology to support SMEs in complying with the EU Cyber Resilience Act. The framework translates CRA legal requirement into actionable steps, tools, template, and case studies tailored to the operational realities of SME. This first assessment framework considers 5 criteria: essential cybersecurity requirement compliance, certification of product with digital element, classification of product as class 1 or class 2 and corresponding action, technical documentation completeness, and finally, overall conformity assessment procedure. Each section is enriched with an in-depth guidance, practical example, case studies, checklist, reference to template, tools, and standard, ensuring micro SME can effectively navigate CRA obligation with actionable strategies tailored to their resource constraint. So, in a nutshell, this framework provides a practical structure to operationalize CRA compliance. So let me summarize. So this slide will help you to compare and more visual the difference between the 3 guidelines I just reviewed. So on the left, the CRA 101 provides a simplified legal overview to understand core obligation. On the middle, the essential cybersecurity requirement guideline translate essential requirement into technical implementation guidance. Altogether, they move from regulatory awareness to practical security engineering. And the third one, the methodological compliance assessment frameworks, it structures how compliance is assessed, documented, and formally declared. It integrates product classification, conformity module, certification strategies, and technical documentation requirements. Together, the 3 documents form a progression from left to right, awareness to implementation and demonstration. So, in conclusion, I would suggest you go through the different guidelines tool in the following order from top to bottom. So the first one, CRA 101, to understand what are the key CRA obligations. The second one, CRA essential cybersecurity requirement to guide you in the technical implementation. The CRA maturity score tool to assess your level of cybersecurity and compliance with the CRA. And finally, the CRA methodological compliance assessment framework to help you in your way to comply with the EU Cyber Resilience Act with a structured self-assessment methodology and governance framework. This ends my presentation. Thanks a lot for your attention. And please go through our website, on the SECURE website, and have a look on those different guidelines. I will leave the floor now to Simon, I presume. Thank you.
Thank you, Yves. Leave the floor to Simon Barczewski from NASK. So ask to summarize as much as possible. We are running out of time. Please, Simon.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Today I will guide you through the way organization can demonstrate compliance with the Cyber Resilience Act. The main purpose of the CRA is to improve the cybersecurity of digital products across the European Union. Manufacturers who want to introduce products to EU market must follow the cybersecurity requirements and be able to prove that their product is safe and can be trusted. There is not just one path to compliance. The CRA offers different options, so organization can choose the one that best fits their products and their processes. The correct choice depends on several factors: the type of products, the level of cybersecurity risk associated with it, and existence of harmonized standards and certification schemes. In this presentation, I will explain the different options and show you when each one can be used. Most products fall under the default category. For this, the manufacturer can choose from the following assessment routes. Module A, internal control. The manufacturer performs the assessment independently. Module B plus C, the design is checked by a notified body and production is controlled internally. Module H, full quality assurance. This includes an audit of the manufacturer's processes or, when available, cybersecurity certification schemes. Some products are classified as a class 1 because they carry a higher cybersecurity risk. For these products, Module A is still possible, but only if harmonized standard or common specification are used completely. Manufacturers may also choose Module B plus C, Module H, or certification schemes at the substantial level of assurance. The reasons for this impact a security incident could have on user or other systems. Class 2 products require even greater assurance. For these products, internal control alone is not allowed. The involvement of an independent third part is mandatory. This means the manufacturer must choose Module B plus C, Module H, or a cybersecurity certification scheme at the substantial level. These products are often used in important application, and therefore independent verification is essential. Critical products are those that play a key role in essential service or critical infrastructure. Because of their importance, the CRA recommends using a European cybersecurity certification scheme whenever one exists. If a scheme is not yet available, Module B plus C or Module H must be used. This ensures the highest possible level of confidence in the product security. Free and open source software is also covered by the CRA when it forms part of Class 1 or Class 2 products. The same as assessment modules apply as for those classes. However, this is an additional requirement. The technical documentation for the software must be publicly available at the moment the product is placed on the market. This helps ensure transparency and support the verification of security properties. The CRA defines several conformity assessment procedures. They differ in how much documentation is required, how much independence is needed, and how much control the manufacturer must demonstrate. Products with higher risk require more formal processes and more detailed checks. This allows the CRA to be flexible with still ensuring a proper level of cybersecurity. Harmonized standards are a valuable tool for demonstrating the CRA compliance. When a manufacturer follows these standards, the product received a presumption of conformity. This means authorities assume the product meets the CRA's essential requirements unless proven otherwise. Standards make the requirements easier to follow because they translate legal rules into technical steps that engineer can implement. Harmonized standards are very helpful, but they are not mandatory. However, choosing not to use them may limit the available assessment routes. In particular, some products may no longer qualify for Module A. Manufacturer must also prepare technical documentation, issue a declaration of conformity, and keep all relevant documents for 10 years. This documentation must be available to market authorities on request. Module A is the least formal and most flexible options. The manufacturer performs the entries assessment independently, including risk analysis, testing, and cybersecurity evaluation. No external notified body takes part in these processes. Because of this module, Module A is suitable only for lower risk products. Once the manufacturer confirms compliance, they issue the EU Declaration of Conformity and place the CE mark on the products. All technical documentation must be stored and be ready for future checks by authorities. These ensure that even self-assessed products remain transparent and accountable. Module B is carried out by a notified body. It includes a detailed review of the technical documentation and, when necessary, testing of the products. If the products meet the requirements, the manufacturer receives a type examination certificate. Module C then ensures that the production processes keeps each unit consistent with the approved design. This combination provides both design level assurance and production level control. Module H requires the manufacturer to have a full quality management system for cybersecurity. This system must include design, development, production, testing, and dealing with vulnerabilities during the whole life of the products. A notified body audits approves this system and performs ongoing supervision. The CE mark must include the identification number of the notified body, with show that an external organization oversees the manufacturer processes. To conclude, the CRA offers several ways to show compliance, from simple self-assessment to full third-party evaluation and certification. The correct choice depends on the product's type, its cybersecurity risk, and whether harmonized standards or certification options are available. By understanding these options, organization can prepare properly and ensure that their products meet the new European cybersecurity requirements. Thank you for your attention, and it's all at me.
Thank you very much, Simon. And now we close this with this panel with a recap on how to apply to secure project funding, and also trying to answer to some of your questions that we are reading. Actually, I don't know if we will have time to answer here to your question, because actually we do have another intervention after mine. But of course, you will receive these the answers that we need through or or the chat or on the website FAQ. All the materials that has been shown today, you can find it on our website. And also this registration, the recording of this this meeting will be shared on our website, together with the slides and together with the presentations from also speakers that spoke remotely. Regia, could you please? Thank you. So again, I am head of advisory and training in Cyber 4.0. Just a few recap on SECURE project. As you know, we have 16.5 million that we are using for funding micro projects from micro, small and medium enterprises who want to reach Cyber Resilience Act compliance and want to improve their cybersecurity posture. And for this first call, we are granting a total budget of 5 million, and we are granting a maximum amount of 30,000 euros for each project, so for each company. Of course, you will be able to apply only once for one project with your company, and the grant amount covers the 50% of the cost of the project. That means that if you are stating that you are spending 40,000 euro, we will give you 20,000 euro. The maximum grant still be 30,000 euro, even if you are spending more than 60,000 euros. So if you are spending, for example, 100,000 euros, then you will receive the maximum grant, that is 30,000 euro. There is also the possibility to ask pre-financing for 40% of the grant that you are asking for. The call has been it was launched on the 28th of January, so we are actually at at the middle of our call, and we reached already a significant number of companies. As you can see here, we have more or less by today, that is 25, and the call will close on the 29th of March, so we have another month ahead, and we have reached 230 companies that subscribe to our portal. More or less 130 of those companies has already registered on the forms, and we already received 15 proposals that has been already submitted. That usually in those kind of project and those kind of financing proposal are submitted within the last 10 days of the call. So it is already a good number, and we are foreseen to reach at least 150 companies and proposals submitted, and we have a maximum fundable companies number that is around 160. But of course, there will be other calls. Of course, there will be at least one other call after this one. So moving on the specific eligibility requirements and also the mechanism of to get funded, I just want to recall that we are adopting a lump sum funding mechanism. That this means that actual cost reporting is not asked to any of you at the end of the project, but actually you will be asked to provide budget of your project that need to follow some specific rule that we will see later on. Eligible costs are personnel costs, subcontracting, personnel cost, and subcontracting cost. this is important to say that if you can pay a supplier, you can pay a provider for services, and you can still have this service financed. It is important to specify those kind of costs, and also which kind of supplier you are engaging to provide those services within the proposal, the technical proposal, and also the financial budget. So let's move on to the next slides. The eligibility requirement, just briefly, because you can find all those information on the website, and we are going to have other meetings on that topic during the month of March. You need to be the applicant should be an individual entity, micro, small, or medium enterprise for following the European definition that you can find also on that link, and the applicant should be established in the European Economic Area, and of course meets ethical and legal requirements, and the absence of double funding for the project that they are proposing. There are also two CRA-related eligibility criteria. You should fall under the CRA scope. So for the purpose of our call, we intend with this that you should be a manufacturer or an importer or distributor of products with digital elements, and or willing to be one of or willing to fall under the CRA scope in the future. And we are financing, of course, eligible activities that are aimed to improve cybersecurity within your company. For this first call, we are not going to finance any specific certification schemes activities, but you can find here just a brief list of the kind of activities that we are financing with our first call. So let's go on, because we are running out of time, and actually we already presented those elements during our first info day, and we are going to represent all these topics with another information day in the next days. And let's just focus on the implementation and application process, particularly on the application process on our web platform. So on our website, you can find, as you might already know, the link to register on our platform, and to submit, to register your company and to submit your technical proposal. There are two main stages. We are going to focus on this first stage, that is the registration and proposal submission stage. We have 4 phases for this stage. The first one is the registration of your company and the uploading of the required documentation. You will register on the online platform, fill in some registration data forms, and also your bank account. The bank account is asked not to ask you money, but to give you money. So please register also your bank account, and to fill in a self-declaration, and then download and sign some mandatory documents. You will need to sign, of course, the self-declaration that you are filling in within the platform. You are going to fill in the ownership control declaration that you find on our website. The template of ownership and control declaration is on our website too. You need to ask to your Chamber of Commerce a valid registration report for your company and upload it to the platform. You will need to upload also your specific company financial statement. That is something that you produce yourself, and if required from other entities within the project, maybe other documents, but the 4 mandatory documents are the ones that I have listed here. The second phase is the drafting of the technical proposal and the budget. This is the most important part of the application process because you would need to download the proposal template from our website and fill in. It's all guided. It's a guided process because you find all the guidelines that you need on the proposal template, the technical proposal template itself, so it's all written down here. There are several sections. What I recommend here is to stress on KPIs, how you will reach the results that you are focusing on in your project, and also how you will spend your money. So if you have a supplier, if you have a provider, if you need to buy something, please specify it in the technical proposal. It's all written in the technical proposal guideline, and you can follow all the flow that we already represented in the template. Just a few words on the budget, because there are several rules to follow, and we are sharing all the links that you need. But please remember that to ensure budget consistency, so specific the correct costs on the Excel file, and also ensure that the money that you are stating, that you are spending, are linked with the activities that you are describing in your technical proposal. This is very important for our evaluation committee that will assess your proposal. There are, I will skip this, but again, the eligible costs are personnel cost, again, subcontracting cost, that means supplier cost, equipment cost, that are stated only for the duration of the project, and also purchase cost that are calculated on depreciation cost of the good that you are using for the purpose of your project. So please read carefully those rules and read carefully the proposal template before writing down. It not takes so much time, but it's the most important thing to get correctly evaluated by our evaluation committee. So as you already know, we have 3 stages of evaluation. The first one is formal evaluation to assess if you have entered all the necessary information. Then we have the technical evaluation that is carried out by our evaluation committee. It's an independent evaluation committee, even though it's composed by personnel of our project partners. And the third step is the company eligibility evaluation that is carried out by your national cybersecurity coordination center. If your national cybersecurity coordination center does not support our project, we cannot ensure that your proposal will go through the evaluation stage, and we are publishing by this month list of the supporting NCCs. So my invite is to in any case, to try to upload your proposal, and of course you will receive as soon as possible information on the engaged NCCs. I will go through just quickly the evaluation technical criteria. You can find it on the guidelines. I just want to mention that an important point is the connection with other European projects, because having mentioned another European project on CRA in particular is a point that we consider when the evaluation committee will evaluate your proposal. So please follow also other European projects in order to have a higher score in your proposal. And on that topic, I'd like to leave the floor to Nicholas Ferguson, that is Senior Manager and Coordinator of CyberStand EU, that is another European project collaborating with our... you can take the podium, of course.
Thank you very much. So my name is Nick Ferguson. I'm a senior manager at Trust IT Services. We're an SME based in Pisa, in Italy, and I'm the coordinator of a project called Cyberstand. Okay, so Cyberstand is a coordination support action and focuses at, similar to SECURE, but with focus on standardization. So funding individuals or companies to contribute to the standards which are being developed at the moment, which can help with conformity and compliance with the Cyber Resilience Act. So it's quite difficult to give a presentation about the CRA without saying compliance many times, and in fact I would probably say it many times. However, speaking to companies who engage regularly with SMEs, the word compliance often causes the SME to switch off. And in reality, what we're talking about is better cybersecurity. So better and more trusted products, easier ways to procure those products, and just better lifecycle management and cybersecurity for products which are going on the European market and which can build trust. So, you know, many of the things that we've heard this morning around improving cybersecurity are all about improving cybersecurity. The presentation from Eve before with the guidelines are all about improving how companies approach cybersecurity. So the project which I coordinate looks at raising awareness. We heard this morning, the importance of raising awareness about the Cyber Resilience Act and how important it is to reach actual SMEs. And our project, like the SECURE project, focuses on this, but mostly with an angle around standardization. So our main focus, which I'll talk about in a moment, is funding, providing funding for individuals, in particular SMEs, to get involved with the standardization process, and then to organize outreach and events and awareness raising activities and dialogue with, in particular, small and medium companies, and also micro enterprises, and also the open source community as well. The project's been running for 18 months now, so we were one of the first implementation projects funded under the Digital Europe programme. And in our consortium, we have the 3 European standardization bodies, so CEN, CENELEC and ETSI, as well as the Digital SME Alliance, which is our bridge to the SME community, and the European Cybersecurity Organization, which is a bridge to many of the communities and stakeholders in the cybersecurity ecosystem. So if we just take a look at how we've been able to support people. So you can see we've funded, I think these numbers are now going up, over 80 different contributions, and 55% of these have gone to individuals in small businesses. And it means that they've been able to contribute to the dialogue and how the standards are developed. Okay, remember these standards are basically the baseline of how you comply to the Cyber Resilience Act. So it's very important that they are SME centric and SME sensitive. We've also seen a good number of females representing and going into standardization, 5%, and of course the number of women in standards is lower than that, so we're assisting that as well. It's a very important point, and you can see the main standards technical committees where people are contributing through our funding. We have an open call now, which is open. So the standards are now in draft format, okay? So you can comment on them and you can get involved directly in doing this. Now, one of the problems with the implementation of the AI Act was it was actually quite difficult for small and medium enterprises to implement the standards. So to address this point, we launched an open call whereby we are inviting SMEs who are either involved already in this process or not to review the current draft standards from an SME perspective. Okay, so we get input to the technical committees on how these standards could be improved, okay, to make it easier for an SME to implement them. And then secondly, to actually write and produce guidelines for the SME community to help them implement once the standards are ready and have to be used. So this is really quite important. A lot of you can see the different lines here. A lot of the lines, these are the ones which are left, okay, because we've already have a number of these already covered. Okay, yes. So just to finish, okay, as Alessandro and Andrea have mentioned, there are lots of other projects funded to support the implementation of the Cyber Resilience Act, and something Paolo mentioned earlier was the importance of guidelines, of training and support to achieve this. And there are many projects funded in different areas. So in the area of certification and alignment with other legislation, and also importantly, the tools, methodologies, training, and these types of support resources being made available for SMEs. And they cover, in this central part of the slide, they cover different aspects from checking free and open source software to risk assessment to all of the different parts of the Cyber Resilience Act. So as Alessandro said, if you use one of these tools in your application for the SECURE call, then you get an extra point. So the Commission are very, very keen on these being used so that they don't stay at the prototype stage, but they're actually used, because the digital projects are all about implementation. One last thing is because CyberStand is a coordination support action, we are coordinating and supporting these projects to come together at SME events. We had one in Turin yesterday. We were in Zagreb in January. In Zagreb, we had almost 100 SMEs in the same room, which was amazing. It doesn't happen very often. And we're also organising them around Europe. We have the rapporteurs from the standards presenting the different standards they're working on, so you can get input from the SMEs in the room, and also an opportunity for all the projects to promote their tools and guidance. So with that, thank you very much. And if you're interested in hosting one of these workshops, do let me know. Thank you. Thank you.
So I'd like to thank you, Nick, again, and also other colleagues for the SECURE session. Thank you again also to Andrea, to Yves, to Simon, and to Carmelo, of course. Now I will try to answer to some of the questions that are coming from the remote chat on Teams. For the ones in presence, I would invite to the ones that are interested in those answers to remain here, or to for the other one to start the launch break.
I would like to make a statement.
Yeah, please. You can.
One simple remark. I mean, we've been talking about this opportunity of funding, so to have 300,000 euro. I would like to stress the fact that the benefit for companies go larger beyond that 30,000 euro. Why? Because especially in this phase, you will be the front edge. You will be the company that experienced first the CRI implementation, and you will have a visibility over the Europe. So this is a benefit that should be considered, because from simply a perspective, entrepreneurship perspective, maybe the budget is not really high, but in terms of visibility on this domain could be a relevant experience. So I would like to stress this aspect.
Thank you, Carmelo. So again, if you want to remain here, we are going to answer to some of the questions. So in particular, for those that are connected remotely, I would ask you to stay online, and we had a first question. For the other one who wants to join the lunch break, they can already join. So thank you again for the hosts and the speakers. Thank you. So we have a first question on the the submission period. So we are not going actually to close the call earlier. We are going to collect all the submissions, and the call will close will close on the 29th of March. And after we have collected all the submissions, all the proposals, we will need to evaluate all of them and then assess their eligibility or not, and also score all the different proposals. The evaluation committee will set a score for each single proposal, and then we will have a ranking of all the proposals from all the companies. The excluded companies will be only the ones that will not reach the minimum score for each proposal, and you will find the score, of course, on the guideline again on the website. And also, if we are reaching the maximum budget for this first call, the last listed proposals with the lower score will be excluded. Only if we reach the maximum budget for the first call. Of course, we will be able to present the same proposal for the second call, and we will consider them in the second call. That will be, I think, larger than this first one. All the proposals that are arriving from different member states as equal, and we will evaluate them as equal. Of course, there will be some differences in numbers, especially for those countries whose NCC is not supporting our project, but we will try to address some specific action within the second call for this topic. For this first call, we are going to have the support of some of the NCCs, and to enable all the companies that are asking for funding to be funded if they ask, and if their NCC is supporting them. The evaluation will start 5 days after the closure of the call. We will have first the formal evaluation and then the technical evaluation. The formal evaluation, again, is just to assess if all the documents that you have uploaded on the platform are correct, and the technical evaluation will last in a couple of months, and then we have another couple of months for the eligibility evaluation. So in around 6-7 months maximum, you will receive your results, and you will be funded. Then you will have other 6 months to implement your project. You can ask pre-financing, so that does mean that in 6 months you will receive approval or a rejection. If you receive the approval, you can also receive 40% of pre-financing. Then you can start implementing your project. You have 6 months to implement your project, and then you will need to present a technical report reporting all the evidence that you state in the technical proposal. So other questions? The participating NCC list will be published by the next month on our website. We are actually currently trying to reach all the European NCCs, and we will publish a list when we will have at least some of the confirmation. But don't worry, we are reaching most of the NCCs, so please go further with your proposal and drafting, and keep in mind that this proposal can be presented also for the second call if you are not going to be evaluated for this first one. So you are not working, your work will be, of course, evaluated also, and remain valid for a second call. I think we have time for another couple of questions. Who can support applicant manufacturing companies in line with CRA requirement? Yeah, we are. Yes, this is a question that we received a lot. The funding is directed not to companies that are providing cybersecurity services. The funding are directed to companies that are willing to reach Cyber Resilience Act compliance. Those companies can use the funding to pay suppliers that are providing them the services they need to reach the Cyber Resilience Act compliance. So we are not funding any research and development project. We are funding compliance projects and cyber resilience improving projects. Other questions? Yeah, I already answered also. This presentation will be published on our website. You can find the link on it's public and on it's secure for SMEs.eu. And just the last question. Let me see. I saw one that was. Yeah, just a specification on the budget template again. If you are not completing the budget template following the reporting rules that we shared with you within the website, within the frequently asked question, and within this presentation that we will share with you, there are two main possibility. The first one is that we can ask you to amend a material error in your technical and budget proposal, and this will be done when you will sign the sub-grant agreement, so the contract that will give you the access for funding, or the proposal can actually be excluded during the formal eligibility check. So again, be careful while you completing this the budget template. If you have already submitted your proposal, don't worry. We are actually analyzing all the budget that you already uploaded, and we are trying to redirect all the material errors. So we are considering a lot of material errors right now, but please, for the ones that are submitting the proposals now, please be careful to the budget. If you have any problem, technical issues, etc., you can write to the support email address that you find at the bottom, at the footer of the website, and we will answer in a couple of days maximum. I know we have a lot of questions. We have listed them, and we are going to try to answer them, putting some answer on our frequently asked questions session. So please visit the frequently asked questions session, because it's updated more or less in real time. So please visit our website and write us if you have any further question. Thank you again for your participation, and we, of course, please feel free to reach us for any other questions or doubt. Thank you very much also to you.